situation straight.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right. Well, first off, I want to commend you guys. This is mostly, I think, a very respectful space. I was listening anonymously for a little bit. I've been sitting in. I don't necessarily have the same goals as everybody here, but as long as people are respectful, I think that it's reasonable discussion.
Absolutely.
But I guess I would ask, as an industry professional, right, as somebody who has worked in this business for 20 years and has worked for the studios and the companies that you're talking about, including Netflix. I think that it is actually worth engaging in the most technical terms about how a deal like this could be struck. Because as someone who's worked on the inside and has seen the way that rights trade hands and seen the way that companies utilize IP and will buy IP just to bury it and keep other people from using it, and who has a hands on understanding of just how difficult, dirty, and backwards the industry can be. I guess while I appreciate the energy, I think it's important to be able to speak to a business plan. I think that you, you have to be able to engage. If you're going to convert people that don't agree, you're going to have to be able to speak to how any of this would be possible, and acknowledging that there is now a competing filmic universe, I think is necessary to be able to engage with even the idea that you might have a side universe being carried out by a competing company with the same IP.
hmm
I think
I,
that there's
mhm.
people asking questions that are pretty reasonable, and when you act like
Real
we want to
quick,
engage
before
with
you
you,
continue, I have a quick question. Quick question.
I,
Please state what you do in the industry first, because you just said you're an industry insider, and I want to respect that. But tell us what it is, because that's just a kind of a blanket general title.
well, yeah, the great thing is that you'll find that anybody that's worked in this business for more than a few years has probably worked across many different fields. So when I first started out in this business, I worked in home entertainment. I got my start producing Blu-rays and DVDs. Actually, I got my start working on set. I got my start working as a production assistant and moved into art. And then I got poached by a company that cut trailers and produced special features. And there I moved into producing. Technically, I had started making films in junior high and high school. I went to an art school that had film programs, had animation programs, had photography programs. So by the time that I moved out to Los Angeles, um, after a couple years, I was working as a producer for a company that did movie marketing. But again, I've worked basically across every realm. I've worked in production. I've worked in marketing.
Okay,
I've worked.
okay,
can
cool,
I
cool,
can
cool.
I tap in
No,
real quick
I'm
again?
gonna answer. I'm gonna answer. I've worked in distribution.
No, 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 no.
No,
You're
no, no,
fine.
no,
You're
no.
fine.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
answered enough. Here's what I'm gonna say, real quick, and I'll relinquish the mic to Sky or whoever. So, with that being said, with your credentials, with your this and your that, we're not talking to you.
Well,
We're talking
the
to.
thing is
Wait,
that
wait,
for the
wait, 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 wait. Let me answer. Let me say what I got to say, brother. You said a lot. I just want to say what I got to say, and then I will relinquish the mic. Like I said, we're not talking to you unless you are somebody who is a direct representative of Netflix who can sign a check. Then yeah, we're talking to you. If you can't say yes to that definitively, then we're not talking to you. We're talking to. We put an idea out there for Netflix to catch a hold of, right? That's up to them to work out the semantics, the details, and the important contracts that may or may not be signed. If we accomplish that goal, fine. But the goal's already been accomplished by getting the idea out there. And we're not trying to convince a bunch of people to get on board in a way that's vehemently passionate or we're frothing at the mouth. Like that's irrelevant. People who hear the idea are
respectfully.
going to naturally like it, and those that do not, I'm not trying to go out there and chase behind them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Fair enough. But okay, so let's say that I was someone, and for all you know, I am.
No,
That's
no, no,
kind
no,
of
no, no.
that's kind of
No,
my
no.
exact
I
words.
don't do the what ifs. I don't do the what ifs. Either you are or you aren't. Are you?
But okay, so can I? But can
That's a
I? Can
yes or
I?
no question.
But here's the thing. It's a yes and no question, but I'm trying to inform you about how things are done in this business. And if you care about
I
these
already
deals
know
getting
how
Okay.
things are
if
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait,
you
I
clearly
personally don't need
don't.
it,
wait,
but
You
hold on.
y'all
clearly
can finish that
don't.
part of the conversation.
Hold on one
I'm trying
second.
Y'all can finish that
I'm trying
that
to
part.
I want to be
No,
holistic.
no, no, no.
I
I'm
want to be
good.
holistic.
I'm gonna back out the conversation because I don't need that question answered.
I
Like
want
that's
to
not
see, but
important to me
see, this is
because I
actually
already
a
know the
problem.
ins and outs.
This is actually a problem. Is that I see that when professionals come into a space and want to share information about how these things actually work, there's pushback because you may
I,
be getting told things that you
no, no,
don't want to
no,
I'm not
hear.
no, no.
pushing back.
Hold on.
I
Time
gave the
out.
mic
Time
back
out.
to you.
Time out.
No,
Time
I
out.
respect that. I respect that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
I'm
trying
not
to let
pushing
you
back.
speak.
yeah,
I'm
and I
trying to let you
was.
speak. I don't want to interrupt each other.
Hold on one second, because I was actually going to answer his question. So, like, no, because is and that's why we have the whole kind of Superman and Batman dynamic, and I actually love it, right? Because because you asked a very specific thing earlier as to competition, right? And my question back would be this never seems to come up unless we're talking about this particular instance. And my examples are before this Sandman thing became problematic because of the creator. Sandman was not competing with Peacemaker, right? Cape Crusader was not competing with Creature Commandos, right?
This is a
These things,
hypothetical.
no, no,
In the DC
no,
universe,
hold
these
on.
are different universes. Just because it's owned by
Exactly,
DC
no,
Comics
no,
doesn't mean that
exactly,
these things interact with each other.
exactly,
That's different. That's
exactly.
different than excuse
Time
me.
out,
That's
hold on,
different than having two competing companies
time out,
working on the exact same characters. That would be the
time out.
equivalent of
No,
Marvel licensing DC characters.
okay,
It's
if they're
unlikely to
going to
happen.
be okay, so why was there just a Batman introduced on Creature Commandos, which is an animated version of Batman that is competing with another animated version of Batman on another platform?
There's no competition. They're both owned by DC. That show is
Exactly.
okay.
And
Excuse.
they're on two different platforms, are
Let
they
me.
not?
You have to
But
you actually have to let me finish and
are they on,
answer a question.
but
You have to
are
let
they
me
on two
answer a
different
question.
platforms? Are they on two different platforms is what I'm asking you.
There.
Are,
Okay, but if I answer the question, you can't interrupt me when I'm halfway
okay,
through.
no,
Okay,
sure.
so go ahead and mute.
Are they on two different,
I'm just let's
I,
respect each other. So the reason that
I'm
they're on
gonna
two different
mute.
the reason that they're on two different platforms is because David Zaslav has failed to manage his slate correctly over at Warner Brothers. He has created a divided house and does not see the value of his creatives or his IP. I think that everybody in this room, regardless of where we fall on the spectrum of what we want to see done with these characters, would agree with that. The fact that they had an absolutely killer show produced by Matt, produced by James, that critics and fans have embraced, and they said there's no place for that on a streaming network, is proof that there's a complete and total failure to recognize what the value of the IP is. But that is a wholesale different thing in industry standards of licensing out a product that has been basically abandoned and would have been written off for a tax break versus l- uh, competing with yourself, right? Competing with yourself. Those two shows were not actually in competition. The fact that Batman appears for 2 frames in an HBO streaming show that's not about Batman is not in direct competition with a Batman series that was produced and is still owned by Warner Brothers. These are different things. So I think that when we're talking about the actual legality, when we're talking about the legal rights and the legal holdings of these corporations, it is important to get these details right. You can go look, like, even though I don't love everything about what Snyder made, I do like a fair amount. You can go look. I posted. I have a huge collection. I've got an entire Batman and DC room, and there is a section set aside for Snyder's universe. I like a lot of what he did, but I also think that we have to look realistically about what is possible, and that you're talking about something that
Okay.
isn't
So,
actually possible.
So
It's
real
oh,
quick,
flat.
okay.
I just have wait, hold on, hold on. Y'all went back and forth. I just want to say one thing real
All
quick.
right, cool, cool, cool,
Real
cool, cool,
quick.
cool, 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 cool.
So should we pack it up and give up? Is that what you're saying?
Do you really want me to advise you what I think would be holistic for you?
You answer the question. I asked the question.
Yeah,
I mean, go for it.
yeah.
Answer the question.
I would say that no one inside the industry respects these movements The only reason, and I know that you guys don't want to hear it. I heard you guys saying that COVID had everything to do with why Zack Snyder's assembly cut, not the Snyder cut, but his assembly cut, which did exist. They then spent, I mean, they haven't even been honest about the $170 million that it took to turn that into what a 4 hour version that was released on HBO that was not profitable for them. And again, I'm telling you this from a perspective. I don't, it's not what I want. It's not about my desire. I'm giving you a brass tacks. It's the same thing that I do in other spaces as a professional. Even though I'm a fan of all of this stuff, and I want to see all of these versions succeed, not because I just love DC characters or Marvel characters, but because as an industry worker, it is paramount that the theatrical movie going experience continues. But, but I say all of that with the understanding that the outsider's view of movements like this does not speak well to fandom. It does not accomplish the goals that people think that they are accomplishing. And the industry's response to it, even when you guys get what you want, is not to continue giving you what you want. And I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm saying it because I think that on occasion, somebody needs to let some air into the room and speak a little
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
hard truth to you. And
And
if I'm being
and
honest, I think that
hold
you
on.
should let go of it. And I think
Cool.
that I think you should let
Absolutely.
go of it and look at
I knew
and
that that's
here's the
what we
thing.
were gonna get to. No, no, wait, hold on, hold on. There's
Real
I let you
quick,
speak.
real quick.
I let you speak.
I'm
Hold
gonna wrap
on.
up, and then I'm gonna be done, and then I'm gonna be done.
Okay, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
think that what I do actually genuinely believe is that when, not if, when this DC universe is a few years in to a successful run, and when they have established the tone and the
Hmm.
fandom and the
Okay.
relationship to the audience that
Sure.
they want,
Sure.
there is a real possibility. Here's the thing, guys. I I have seen there's
Okay. I'm really close to
unlike the
muting
Oh,
Snyder cut,
now
because
now you're
unlike
like
the
hold,
Snyder cut.
okay. I just muted everybody because I tried to like let this go on, right? And I was told that he was gonna wrap up real quick. I'm gonna take everybody off of mute, and then I'm gonna say what I was about to say. So excuse me. Now everybody's off of mute. Now, what I was going to say is this. Um, Everything that was just said now, right? You guys heard it, came from an industry insider, right? These are the same industry insiders because I don't give a shit what is said about it wasn't the Snyder cut, it was his assembly cut. The motherfucker came out. It was the Snyder cut. These same insiders are the same ones that just was on record telling you guys, right? That the super shit hashtag is not in the fucking Superman movie. These same industry insiders told all of you guys that the Snyder Cut didn't exist. They've been telling y'all to pack it up and go home for how long, right? When it's time to move mountains, you think that the fucking people on the inside are really gonna allow these type of things to like Chester, and we're just not gonna come in here and have some pushback? You think I give a shit about what anybody has to say, right? That when literally this man just told you guys it's not possible, it's not viable. When
That's not what I
we
said. That is not what
no
I
no no no
said.
no no
That
no
is
no no
not what I
no
said.
no no, you said it can't happen. You said
No, I didn't.
we
No, I
all
did
heard,
not.
bro,
No, I did
bro.
not. I said that you need.
Time out. Time out. Everybody's back on mute again. Right? No, 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 no. We all heard that. We all heard it. We heard you, bro. Everybody heard you. Everybody's back off mute again. We all heard what was said, bro. I was on mute for a while, right? And he said it can't happen. Fucking Scott Stuber said it. Zack Snyder spoken to it. David Zaslav and fucking Peter Safran has said that they are interested in licensing things, right? If it's a dead franchise, they've licensed things all other shit off in the past. Two of it, yo, there is no. We had somebody who was a pain to all of you industry insiders, who literally was the motherfucker who leaked that fucking Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and all these motherfuckers was gonna be in the movie, right? Who, I'm sorry, but you and whatever you've done, I will take the reputation of Mikey Sutton and his reputation and all of that over anybody.
You're just spinning out now, man.
No,
That's
no,
not
no,
what
no,
I
no,
even
no, no,
said. And
no, no,
if you
no,
let me
no, no,
speak, I did
no,
not say
no.
that it's not possible. I did not say that it's
You
not possible, but you
you
need to
did.
give this time.
Oh,
No,
no,
stop.
no, no, no. Wait, wait, wait.
The Snyderverse being restarted at Netflix is not going to happen, but the Ayer cut is possible. It actually does exist and it's complete. I'm
Bro,
trying to actually give you hope.
bro,
I'm trying to help
bro.
you.
Nobody,
The
bro.
Ayer cut
You
is
think
real.
I need any industry person to give me hope? All right, cool. Let us waste our time. We will do what we do, and you can come give us our dose of reality, as
I've
you say.
actually seen
Cool.
the thing that you want. I've seen
What?
the thing that you want to have released,
What?
and I'm
What
trying to
is that?
tell you how
What
to
is
get
that?
it.
What is that?
I've seen the Ayer cut. I've
I've
seen the Ayer
already
cut.
interviewed somebody on my channel who fucking saw the Air cut, who was shown it directly by David Ayer himself in his trailer. What are you
Who was
talking
in
about,
the
bro?
damn cut? He was in the air
Who?
cut.
What are
This
you
person.
Guys,
talking about? What are you talking about, bro?
you're bringing
You're,
up Tom Holland, Spider-Man leaks. You're all over the place because you
no,
can't
Wait,
actually
wait,
no,
wait,
speak
no,
wait, wait,
no,
wait.
no, no,
to
no, no, no,
Now,
no, no.
now you're straw manning. Stay
No,
focused.
I'm not.
You just
Exactly.
brought up.
Talking about Spider-Man. Talking
You
about
just brought
Spider-Man is
up
straw
and
manning.
said. You just brought up and said you saw the air cut, the thing that would give us hope, and we're telling you that we literally know a person
Who was in the
who was
goddamn
in the
movie
movie,
and
talked there,
saw it?
and watched the damn movie.
It's on my fucking channel.
It's on
There is
channel.
a app.
There's
It
video
is on my
evidence
When
of
you
this
channel,
guys are
guy and
done,
everything.
bro.
So your point
when
of
you're
saying
done, I'll respond.
you're not
When you're
saying
done,
anything
I'll
You're
that is
done,
respond.
bro.
yeah, I know. When
See,
we're done, so let us talk. Go on
Okay,
mute.
so
Go
you
on
made
mute. I wasn't
so
done. You said when we're go on mute, so I can
you're
finish
not
speaking.
saying
Go
anything new.
on
You're
mute. You're
saying
not saying
nothing
anything new
new.
either. You're not saying anything
You
new
guys,
either.
you're melting down.
I'm not melting down at
okay.
all. I would like for you to go on
No,
mute,
no,
Missman.
no, 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 no. I actually booted him out. Y'all want to see?
You
I
could have kept
want
him
to.
there.
No, 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 no. No, I couldn't. You want to know why? And I'm about to say this to everybody there. Do you see the difference in conversation when we have had actual people that have come in here and have been having genuine conversations who didn't seem to have any sort of affiliation to anything? Do you see what happens when you mix these industry conversations? Somebody literally trying to come in here and tell us, I've seen the air cut. I've done this. I've done that. And I'm so glad that Leon asked for his qualifications. You want to know why? And that goes back to what I was saying when he tried to say who that I was strum and spinning out. Because we have a much more fucking solid link to the industry shit and have had that for quite some fucking time. For quite some time. And I'm not gonna listen to anybody that's connected to this shit come in here and try to tell us and then literally change the topic and say I didn't say that it can't happen. When we all heard you say that it can't happen. I asked you a very specific
That was the
question.
literal question that I asked.
That
I
it
said,
was a
okay, so should
literal
we pack
fucking
it up and go
specific,
home?
and
And
then
then
he
he
said
said,
yes
do you want to get the
because
holistic answer? Well, yes, you
it
should.
can't happen
Blah blah blah.
because it can't
Listen,
happen. Fuck that.
listen.
Whoever
He talking
want,
about
hold on.
he's talking
Lastly,
about he.
last point,
Oh, go
Leon.
for it. Yeah, for
Last
sure, for
point.
sure.
I will entertain, as you guys have seen, and you guys have seen every fucking space that we've done. They're all. I don't fucking delete nothing, right? When do these conversations ever go sideways? It is when these industry people come into these spaces, and he just said it, trying to give a dose of reality. But go ahead, Leon. Fuck out of here, bro. I live a great
Listen, man,
life.
I'm gonna say something in general, and I don't know where it's gonna go from there. But generally speaking, why the fuck would a football team, a basketball team, or in this case, us, why would we come in and listen to somebody that's telling us that we're not gonna win the fucking game? Who's listening to that? Who's gonna sit there and listen to that? Like literally, that makes zero sense. Here's something. If you're trying to be successful in life at anything, fuck these movies. Anything. You're trying to make some more money. You're trying to make multiple streams of income. You're trying to start a business. You're trying to get into a relationship. You're trying to get married. You don't listen to naysayers. You don't listen to people who are trying to steer you in the wrong direction. Everybody knows the downside to what you're about to attempt. If I'm starting a business, I know the downside to that. Why the fuck am I going to sit there and ad nauseum listen to somebody I'm just trying to give you a dose of reality. If you start this restaurant, then I know the risk.
Not
Without
only that,
reward,
bro.
there is no reward without risk.
Hey, not only that though, right? But y'all peep that. He tried to get us to switch to the fucking air cut, bro. Y'all see that shit? Y'all see that?
Facts.
Did you guys see
To the
like
air cut.
to the fucking air cut, which is much more feasible? He literally said that. So I'm not making these things up. I'm not saying anything that fucking somebody didn't say. No, bro. The house of cards is coming down. And you see this shit in real time. 100%.